Hey, this is Kerry Marrafino with Reps by Kerry, and if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening to the Time to Shine Today podcast with my friend, Scott Ferguson.
Time to Shine Today Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I got a special treat for you. I got my neighbor to the south, about 30 miles, the Fit Mama, Kerry Marrafino from Reps by Kerry. She is someone that got started in motherhood a little bit late in life, and she wants to keep herself in elite, leveled up shape so she can really help her kids grow through life, level up through life, and be there for grandkids and be healthy and wealthy. And she's just phenomenal. I love Kerry, not only as a professional, but as a friend. We're actually very good friends. And without further ado, here is Kerry Marrafino from Reps by Kerry. Hey, time to shine today, Varsity Squad. It's Scott Ferguson, and I am really blessed to have one busy lady, the Fit Mama, also a really good friend of mine, Kerry Marrafino. She has the company Reps by Kerry, and Reps is an acronym for recipe, education, products, and support. And talk about support. Kerry is one that is there for you every step of the way. She went through a lot of different journeys in her life, and I can't wait to dig in and have her share them with us. The Fit Mama, Kerry Marrafino, can transform your life and body from the inside out. Kerry can turn your struggles, doubts, and fears into the fire that fuels you by tapping into your mind and body, combining the power of mindset with her passion for helping you feel comfortable and empowered as you strive for health and fitness. Kerry helps you get unstuck and create the life and body you want. And Kerry, thank you so much for joining Time to Shine today. And if you could just introduce yourself to our squad. But first, what is your favorite emoji?
My favorite emoji is, this is going to sound creepy, but it's the little kissy one.
Kissy one, kissy emoji.
Happy and it's smiling. That's my favorite.
Kerry, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue, and why?
Reminds me of the ocean and sky and mountains.
With all squad out there, with all disclosure, Kerry is kind of a neighbor, about 40 miles away from me, maybe a little bit less. But we have this huge Epsom salt thing just to the east of us called the Atlantic Ocean, and both Kerry and I are kind of drawn to that. It's great healing, and most of the mornings you'll find Kerry doing Facebook Lives and whatnot with the camera on the ocean or on the water, and she's getting after it. So Kerry, again, welcome, and tell us a little bit of origins of where you started to get where you're at.
Let's see. It really started, I always had a passion for nutrition, which started in college and, through my teenage years and continued through college. But I didn't start working out or lifting weights until I got to college, and my college roommates basically kind of dragged me along with them, and I went and I fell in love with it because I never saw any results in my body until I started lifting weights and putting on some muscle. So I really liked that part of it. And then after I, left that support system of my group of friends going to the gym, I really struggled a bit, with going into the gym and getting bored. I would do classes and things, but if I didn't have a plan or something to do, I would get bored and I would say, oh gosh, I lost my 10 pounds, I'm in shape. Right. Do I have to keep doing this? I think I was like a lot of people where I just said, really, did the people that look healthy, do they keep doing this? Because I think I'm done. And until I got pregnant and had my kids, then I really got back into lifting and being consistent. And I think what made a difference is I finally found what I love to do. Which is CrossFit and HIIT workouts and things like that. But I like to be around that group atmosphere and be around the people. So
yeah, I noticed that you're very community-oriented in the fitness world. And for the squad that's listening, HIIT is high-intensity interval training, correct?
Correct.
So that's really kind of taking your heart rate up, kind of bringing it down, spiking it, which really spikes the fat burning. Am I correct with that?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And if you're watching on video, you can see this lady's pretty well put together. And if you see in your videos, she's a total savage. And we say that in the most affectionate way in the fitness world because, a lot of the listeners out there know that I kind of live it as well. So Kerry is the epitome of that. And so, Kerry, what was the moment where I understand you had your children and you really wanted to level up your life to stay fit yourself? And, it speaks for itself with your physique. What was the aha moment to say, listen, I'm going to pay it forward and help others level up?
I think just watching people at the gym who were in similar situations to me, they had 30 to 50 pounds to lose like I did. And it's really hard, especially when you're going into CrossFit or anything that's new, really, to be consistent. So I think where I wanted to really start helping people was when I saw me in them, and I could really relate to what was going on and help them, first focus on, the weightlifting or the exercise and then work on nutrition. If you kind of try to do everything all at once, I think it gets overwhelming for people.
Gotcha. And even with your acronym with reps, I think the R really is the most important, because no matter how hard you train, if what you're putting in fuel in your body is not on point, you're really not going to see the differences, especially as we get older, right? So
yes, I have noticed that.
Yeah, harder to take care of. So where do you get your recipes, if you will? Like, where do you find them? Do you have like a collaboration, a mastermind of people? You pick them up, or do you make stuff yourself? Or?
I make stuff myself. My husband's an excellent cook, and
nice.
he's a retired firefighter, paramedic now, but he was the cook at the station whenever he was on duty. So he and his family used to have an Italian restaurant called Marraffino's, but his family
Wait a
is
minute,
always...
an Italian restaurant named Marraffino's? No way.
Yes, in
Pompano. Irish? No, that's awesome. Very cool.
So we both like to cook, and he's probably a better cook than I am, but I like to, keep things as healthy as possible. And what's big as, now that I'm in my 40s, what's big for me is food that causes inflammation. So that's where I focus now. It's not just, I thought I ate healthy until I really focused on getting rid of foods that cause inflammation in my body. Not for everybody, but in my body, because everybody is different.
What foods were those?
For me, it's really dairy, sugar. I don't do well with sugar, and I don't do well with pesticides, MSG,
Gotcha.
Stuff that you really didn't realize was in your food, maybe. Until you start looking into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I add turmeric to like everything now. I found that really helped out, as well as schizandra berries and some CBD. It's just really helped out my inflammation.
Right.
Okay, so if I'm out networking or we're listening to here, what kind of keys am I listening for when I'm out, maybe when we're out able to press flush again, and meet people and go networking, because we're just, in full disclosure, people are still I think we're like day 9,280 of quarantine. But if I'm talking to somebody, how do I know if they were a good prospect, contact, connection, or someone that I need to refer to Reps by Kerry?
I'm really looking for someone who is ready to change. A lot of people say they want to change, but they're not in the headspace to change it. So I'm really looking for somebody. What I mean by that is someone who knows they need to change, wants to change, and is ready to do the work.
Okay.
And maybe doesn't know where to start, needs accountability, which I think is helpful to all of us.
Absolutely.
I think that's where a lot of people fall off is, you can't just give somebody a meal plan and say, okay, see you later. They really need accountability.
Because they kind of run out of that passion, if you will.
Right.
Or like you even said, like they start seeing results and they think they can coast, and they really need to. That's the time they may need even to ramp it up a little bit, right?
Right. And that's what I found in my experiences. That's really when you want to coast and you're like, well, I've been so good for so long. Now I could just back off. And that's where you just really fall off and get into trouble, I think. So that's really where you need to tighten it up a little bit.
So you're a trainer, and when you're first starting to work with a prospect or a client, or even a prospect, as you come in, what kind of secret sauce do you use to help find their blind spot? Because all of them has their blind spot, right? They looking to lose fat, or they're looking to gain muscle, whatnot. Like, what's your technique to find the client's blind spot?
I think it's just digging deeper. When you ask somebody what they want, the first 2 or 3 things that they tell you are never really what they want. You have to dig down.
That is awesome.
They'll say, oh, I want this. I want to look sexy. I want to look hot. I want to be fit. No,
Right.
that's not what they
There's
want.
a root cause for that, right?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you ask like really super powerful questions to them to make them almost embarrassed to tell you because they haven't told anybody except maybe their own. That's awesome that you said that because that's true. You got to dig, and you're not
dig into why they want that. And with digging, deeper and deeper as to why, then you'll get to what's really going on.
That's amazing because you lived those whys, like a couple different whys when you went through the stuff, right? I mean, from training before, and it's funny you told a story about someone drug you along to lift weights. Like when I was in the Navy, I was a really skinny guy, when I first went in. I was great with what I did in my operations that I did, but they drugged me to the gym for my first weightlifting workout, and they had the bar, and I couldn't bench press it. That would even push me the most. It was nuts. But no, I appreciate that you shared that journey. So, to you, what makes a great trainer, a great leader, a great coach?
I think someone who listens but adapts to the person they're working with.
Wow.
You can't just say this works for all my clients and it's going to work for you. You really need to listen to what they're telling you and how their body's responding. And it's really teaching them to recognize that in their own body. I do a lot with intuitive eating and just figuring out, it took me a while to figure out what foods were bothering me. I was eating all these foods that really cause inflammation and my body doesn't agree with, but I didn't know it. Until you tune into your body's like, oh, that's fine. This is how everybody feels. I love it when people ask me, oh, what do you take for pain? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? You shouldn't be in pain all day long, every day. And you shouldn't be sore all the time. Yeah, you should have a workout that makes you sore every once in a while, but you shouldn't be walking around sore and in pain and having a tough time getting out of bed. If you are, then you need to change something.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to listen to your body. So when people leave you for the day, for your workout, what do you kind of say to them to make them, because grit is a monotonous activity. Like you and I have grit. A lot of my listeners have grit. A lot of people out there have grit. So what do you do to help them instill that grit inside them so when they leave you and they're on their own accountability? I know you're kind of on their ass a little bit, right? But it's like, what do you
I am kind of bossy sometimes, but
that's
but
okay.
They're on their own. And, what I tell them is you have to prepare.
Okay.
You're going to be out on the road when we could go out for meetings and things. Prepare your food or have a plan. If you're going to a restaurant and, oh my gosh, you have to pick something off the menu, look at the menu ahead of time. Already have your plan.
Right.
Don't, be deer in the headlights and, oh, I'll have the French fries. You can't.
Fries sound great.
It's not easy to pick out something that's healthy all the time, but if you plan, it can be, very simple.
Absolutely. I 100% agree across the board. So, like, you listen to some of my shows. So we're in our DeLorean with Marty McFly. We're going back to meet the 22-year-old Kerry. I don't know what your maiden name is, so that Kerry. And what kind of knowledge nuggets are you dropping on her to help her level up earlier in life? Things that you wish you might have known then that you know now. What kind of stuff are you telling her?
I was in a really unique spot at 22. I was traveling all around the world at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I would tell myself is that what I worked on then was my connections with people, and that was great. But I think what I could have benefited even more from was seeing where I actually was and, enjoying, not just working all the time, enjoying the places that I went to, because I was always traveling for work.
Wow.
And it was stressful, but I think taking more me time and downtime instead of just running and not getting to see the countries, in their entirety.
So maybe being more mindful than mindful. Like full of shit, if you will.
Yeah, it was busy all day long until you pass out, wake up early, do it again the next day.
Why did you grind like that? Was there something you had to prove, or it was just in your innate nature to grind like that, or why did you do that?
I don't know. I think a lot of it had to do with the countries that I traveled to. That was just their culture. They didn't even go into a restaurant till 10, 11 o'clock at night. So you didn't get home until,
right.
if you were having a great meeting and everything, they took their time at dinner, and you didn't get home till 1 or 2 in the morning sometimes. And it was that was an adjustment for me because I was used to eating way later or way earlier, and they wouldn't even. You'd go to a restaurant, try to get something to eat early, and they weren't even open.
Right. I remember Argentina, they
adjustment.
didn't even open till 1, 2 in the morning. 1, 2
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow, and they had the best steaks in the world. So, what? Okay, you've did a lot of things between your younger days and now. You've accomplished a ton, and you're rolling, and your more momentum's building. But what's the big thing that Kerry Marrafino wants to accomplish?
I think the big thing, since I had children later, I was lucky enough to do all the travel and all the fun and everything first, and I waited a long time to meet the right person. And I had my daughter at 40 and my son at 36. So I think what really drives me, Scott, is my children.
Nice.
And my whole reason for being and being healthy is so that I can be here for them and see them have kids and be here to guide them. And that's really my why.
Right. With all this,
I don't want to have a heart attack or get cancer or something at an early age because they still need me.
Right. That's amazing. And then you're such a go-giver in that you've accomplished, like you said, you kind of said, affectionately, you live life in reverse, where you did all this stuff that people really wait. But the way you're keeping yourself in shape, unless, the man upstairs has a different plan from you to take you a certain way, you're going to be healthy by the time they're rolling off to college, maybe in your 50s, and you're still rocking life. That's amazing. That was a great answer for that. There's the kids. So with that being said, then, we talk about the dash here at Time to Shine Today all the time. You have your life date, your death date, and that dash. So how do you want that dash to be remembered? Maybe that epitaph. Like, how do you want that you to be remembered?
Just that I enjoyed life to the fullest and really got out and went after what I wanted and spent time with the people I love. Really that I didn't leave any stone unturned.
You lived. L-I-V-I-N. I love that. So then, what's your definition of a life well lived?
I think for me personally, it would be well lived if I tell my kids this all the time. My job is to make sure they're problem solvers and they can figure stuff out on their own, even though I'm here to guide them. But I don't want to tell them how to do it. I want to help them know how to do it on their own, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I think if they could be, givers, kind, caring, and know how to figure things out and help people along the way, I think that would be a life well lived.
And that just goes right along with your reps, your recipe, education, product support. Recipe does not have to mean food. It could just be an instruction manual part for life. So you want to pay forward to your children to say, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I'm going to give you the reps to be able to figure it out by yourself. Am I saying that maybe kind of keeping up with your life well lived?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
I love that. We're kind of the same age. So what music blew your mind when we were kids?
You want to know my first concert?
Sure.
George Thorogood.
No way, Bad to the Bone, huh?
Yes.
Mine was Sean Cassidy. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I really wanted that satin jacket with him on it. Yeah.
Bell-bottom Sean Cassidy. That is hilarious. That's hilarious. So if you've heard me ask this before, but if you take your cell phone, computer, everything out of it, what are 3 things Kerry can't live without?
Let's see. I can't live without my exercise or meditation, some form of self-care as far as, my mental health and movement. I can't live without my family and my writing and creativity.
Yeah, folks, make sure you get over to the blog. Go to kerrymarraffino.com. It'll be in the show notes, and click on blog. Her writing is just off the charts. And she really made sure she critiqued the book cover of Level Up. It's Your Time to Shine that's coming out is great because everything she said made sense, and now the publisher loves it. So thank you very much, Kerry.
You're welcome.
Send me your invoice. So as we kind of wind down into our Level Up lightning round, You and I could talk for 15, 20 minutes on each one of these topics, but you got 5 seconds to answer them. And they're super easy. All I just need is the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
I'm ready.
All righty. What's the best leveling up you've ever received? Leveling up advice you've ever received?
Oh, let's see. I have 5 seconds, really.
Go. 4, 3.
The best advice would be to have no expectations when I'm going into a situation.
Gotcha.
And what I mean is don't think, this is how it's going to go down. Just be open.
Love that.
Let it happen.
Love that. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
One of my personal habits that contributes to my success is having a plan, but being flexible.
Plan, but flexible. Love that.
So my plan includes being flexible. If it doesn't go according to plan, adapt.
Right. No expectations. You adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
You know what you want. You see the goal. You rock it. I love that. Other than your own website, kerrymarraffino.com, and of course, timetoshinetoday.com.
Of course.
It's shameless plug. Recommend another internet resource that Kerry likes to go to level up.
I really love The Gift of Adversity.
Wow.
By Marcus Aurelius Anderson.
Okay.
He's a podcaster as well. Is an author, TEDx speaker.
You kind of speak from the Stoic view, or
he was in the military like you. He was in the Army, and he was paralyzed while preparing to deploy.
Oh yeah. You told me about him. Excellent.
But he's really all about. You would love him because he's really all about finding your purpose.
Love it.
And going after it.
Kerry, recommend not the flavor of the week, not what you're reading now, or if you even read, or even like a book on tape. Recommend that one that if you just met me and I'm in the doldrums, and you're like, Scott, read this, it'll change your life. What book?
Let's see. I really like. You're gonna laugh if I tell you this.
Oh,
one of my favorites, and I think it works for adults as well, is The Giving Tree.
Oh my gosh!
I have
it right here.
My absolute favorite.
Yeah.
And also, I'm having a kids theme today.
Look.
Sorry, but The Tao of Pooh.
Is it showing up? There it is.
I see
The Giving Tree. Yep. Oh, I have it literally right here. It's on my.
Yeah.
It's on. I have all the Dr. Seuss everything. Sometimes I'll read that.
Yeah.
That's
and the
awesome.
other one is The
that.
Tao of Pooh.
Oh yeah.
That one?
Love it. Yeah. Your favorite charity and organization you like to support?
Rotary International.
Beautiful. If you could be one age for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh boy, that's a good one. For me, that's tough. I would say about 34 to 42 in there, but I don't know.
I think that's a great age. Excuse me.
Pick.
All right, last question.
It keeps getting better, so I don't know.
I know, right? You don't
I'm opening up the window.
What's the best decade of music, Kerry? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s.
Yep, we were definitely hanging out some more. There you go. I love it. So, Kerry, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kerry Marrafino. I'm very active on there. And you can go to my Reps group on Facebook. It's Reps by Kerry.
Okay. And tell us about your 31 days free workouts.
Oh, so with all this that's going on and we're stuck in our homes and, after wondering what am I going to do for workouts, and everyone else is in the same boat, I created 31 days of free workouts that anyone can do, all levels, no weights required. Of course, you can add them if you want, but I don't even mention them. It's all body weight stuff. They're based off of powerful words.
Okay.
So you get your powerful word for the day and your workout and, a nice quote.
How can they find that? Or are you putting that together for people now?
We can put it in the show notes, but it's on kerrymarraffino.com/31 days of workouts.
Love it. Awesome. So, Kerry, leave us with the squad and listeners with one last knowledge nugget that you want them to take with them, internalize, and live.
I think the most important thing as far as getting healthy and being fit is, one, to start, and if you mess up, to be very gentle on yourself and start over.
That's powerful. That's strong. Did you hear that, squad? Start, and if you're going to fail forward. Just know you gain that extra yard as you're failing. Don't be hard on yourself, but get up, bootstrap, bite down your mouthpiece, and keep going, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Love that.
Start again.
In Squad, you've just had a powerful knowledge nuggets dropped on you by my really good friend, Kerry Marrafino. Don't forget to check out everything in the show notes. There are 31 days of free workouts in there. For someone that saw herself in a lot of her clients, she's able to pull them forward and always level up. She always listens and adapts to the person she works with. She doesn't cookie cutter them. So if you do work with Kerry, know that you're going to get that Ritz-Carlton types of service. She's always preparing, whether it's her food, her life, her children, her husband, whatnot. She's always preparing for greatness. And she always wants you to pay forward to be a problem solver. She wants you to always move forward and be open-minded with no expectations, but always grind forward. Kerry, you level up your health, you level up your wealth. You are phenomenal. You're humble, you're hungry, and thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Scott. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast, proudly brought to you by Sutter & Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you are a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.